What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock and why NIO looks very, very good right now, and why it may be set for some very, very parabolic moves. Now, before I break down why on earth NIO looks so good right now, why the markets are doing quite well, and before I talk about anything to do with NIO's Twitter page, I do have to mention a couple of things real quick. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Don't take any of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. And not only benefits me, benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the WeBull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for WeBull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed 6 free stocks each worth up to $2,000. And you could always sell these 6 free stocks for cash and use that cash to buy some NIO shares for free. And this limited time offer that ends in just 5 days. So please check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So I wanted to talk about something very interesting going on with NIO, and we could see that, look, NIO had that very, very key resistance level at that 14 range, and we managed to actually close above that almost perfectly. So NIO is doing pretty darn well right now. I want to talk about the overall market, and that, in my opinion, is going to help NIO push up even higher. So what's going on with the SPY is this, okay? The SPY was dropping pretty darn hard down to that 362 level. I'm sure you guys remember that. When the SPY has been dropping for so long, it is set for some temporary relief, just like how we saw some temporary relief right here. And you could see we made these big moves down. We pushed up a little bit and we dropped very, very hard. And this is like the most the market has dropped in just, a week, I believe. The second most in history, right? This huge drop we saw, and the market was set for a bit of a bounce. My only issue that I had going forward with this was the fact that if you actually look at what was happening to the SPY, we were kind of barcoding in this range. We were trying to break past that 378 range, and we managed to not just break it, we gapped up above it and we held above it and we pushed up pretty darn hard, looking very, very strong. But the SPY does have these gaps on the way down, but it does not look like it's going to just fill them quite soon. It looks like they may get filled a little bit later. So the big thing on everyone's minds is which gaps are going to get filled. And to me, it looks like very soon we filled that 390 gap, which is very impressive, or we're very close to filling it. I think did we fill it? I think we almost filled it. 390.09. We came super close to filling this gap right here. And oh no, I think we filled it actually. Sorry, we filled the 390 gap. But typically when you see stocks running like this, and we saw this big spike in volume for the SPY, especially over the last couple of days, if you look at the volume, look at how the volume just dropped and dropped and dropped for the majority of the last week. Then all of a sudden we get this nice spike in volume, a nice push up. And I mentioned in my previous video that if we get that volume, seeing how all the volume was so down for SPY and NASDAQ, the volume could actually cause a parabolic move in either direction. And we actually got into the upside. So right now, it's looking like there's another gap right here in that 400 range, 401. So it's not out of the question now to say, okay, the SPY might actually fill this gap. It does look like that inverse head and shoulders I mentioned in a previous video. That was the more bullish possibility. I did initially, I wasn't 100% sure about us actually doing this, considering how we were kind of performing, but now it looks really good. It looks like we're going to continue pushing up, and that as a result is going to prop up the market to some degree. Now, Tesla is probably going to see some bullish moves. So is the NASDAQ. If you look at the NASDAQ, very, very similar. I mean, if you look at the setup, nice, almost inverse head and shoulders looking like pattern. And we have this gap right here that's probably going to get filled in that 11,775 range, pushing a lot of tech stocks on the way up. And once again, not permanent. There are gaps on the way down, which will probably get filled again when the market starts to drop, in my opinion, within the next few months. But we're not necessarily there yet. To me, it looks more like we're going to push up first before we see more downside. And with that said, with the market pushing up, with NIO looking pretty strong right now, I mean, it did even better than I expected. I'm very, very happy for the company that we're finally starting to see some nice moves. What's good about it is we close very close to where that resistance range is, but we have another gap all the way back here. It was formed back in February. Look at this gap right here. There's a gap around, let me fix this line for a second. For NIO, it's at around, what is that? 27.24. So I know that sounds kind of, I don't know, ambitious, but I wouldn't count that out. I think considering the market has some room, if you look at this parabolic move NIO just made, and you look at this from the MACD, our EMA and RSI perspectives, we could actually see we got this nice crossover. We're still continuing. We have some momentum. It is slowing down a bit, but it hasn't necessarily crossed just yet. So there is some momentum continuing. As of right now, we're seeing RSI pick up. And I think on the 5 minutes, let me actually pull this up. On the 5 minutes, nice crossover, nice push up. It's continuing from that 1348 EMA run. The RSI, we're seeing this increase in the price, but then we're seeing the RSI kind of like drop a little bit. And you could argue that that is some bullish divergence that we're seeing. That could be a very bullish indicator that's suggesting that we might see some nice moves going into next week. And I'm not going to guarantee this will last forever, but it could give some room, some leeway for NIO to continue to push to that 27 range sometime next week. Now, am I promising that? Is it guaranteed? The answer is no. It will be tricky for us to get that high, but I wouldn't count it out. It's more than possible, in my opinion. Now, if we can't get that high, another key zone is that 25 range. So be on the lookout for that very soon. I want to talk about this more specifically on Sunday, where I'm going to give you guys my price prediction. But as of right now, it's looking more bullish than bearish. And I do think bullish price action is more probable for next week. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is this right here. If we actually look at the NIO ET5 that came out, they're kind of reminding us of how it's going to ignite the senses. Excuse me. Once again, looking really, really bullish, very, very incredible. I think a lot of investors are going to be excited about these cars, about the news that's coming out. So, to kind of take a step back, okay? Short term, the market isn't perfect. Okay, it's not perfect. We're not going to just push up forever. Sorry, right here, we might get a rejection somewhere, maybe around $27. And if that's the case, we are going to drop again when the time comes, if the market kind of allows for that, if the market causes that, given the news that could come out for July. So that's why I talked about why July is going to be a very important month. And with that out of the way, we're not necessarily in July yet. So perhaps for the rest of next week, there's a lot of room for NIO to keep going, in my opinion. The market's getting excited. Can't wait for what the future holds. With that out of the way, please stay strong, stay safe, and I will most definitely see you guys in the next one. NIO is doing well. This is just the beginning. Are we in a perfect market? No. But in the long term future, I'm very, very bullish. So give it the time it needs, stay strong, and I'll see you guys in the next one. NIO to the moon, and peace out.